All right, here's a few questions that deal with solving rational equations. It's an equation. I know that because there's an equal sign. So that means I can use the I hate fraction rule, which says I can multiply every term by lowest common denominator, and that'll clear my fractions for you. So first thing I want to do with this one is I need to factor that bottom. It's a difference of squares, so I'll just leave everything else as it is. 13y minus 3 all over y minus 3, y plus 3. Now, to determine my lowest common denominator, I need to have a y plus 3 in it. From here, I need to have a y in it. I'll put that at the front. And then here I have a y plus 3 already, but I don't have a y minus 3, so I need that. So that's my lowest common denominator. Now I'll take every term, and I'm just going to spread them out a bit here. Plus 4 over y equals 13y minus 3 over y minus 3, y plus 3. So I can take each term and multiply them by this lowest common denominator. Y times y plus 3 times y minus 3. Y plus 3, y minus 3, y plus 3, y minus 3. Good. So on this first one, this cancels with this. So I'm left with y at 12 minus 3 or y minus 3 and a 12. So I'm going to put the 12 and the y first, and then the y minus 3. No fractions. Plus, here the y's cancel, but I'll be left with 4 times y plus 3 times y minus 3 equals, this whole thing cancels, but not the y. So I'll be left with y times 13y minus 3. Okay, now at this point you may want to pause and see if you can finish it, and then press play and see if we come up with the same answer. Okay, so now I'll multiply this through 12y squared minus 36 plus, I'm going to FOIL this first, so leave the 4 out. That'll be y squared minus 3y plus 3y minus 9. These will cancel. Is equal to 13y squared minus 3y. Now I'll just leave everything as is, and I'll multiply the 4 through. So 4y squared minus 36 equals 13y squared minus 3y. It's a quadratic, so I'll bring everything over to the left side. So I have 12 plus 4, 16, and then this one come over, so I'll subtract. So 16 minus 13 be 3y squared. Okay, y squareds are done. Now y's. Oh, I forgot a y right there. Whoops. That'd mess you up. Hopefully I didn't forget one anywhere else. Did I get this one? Yeah, I got that one. All right, so here's a y and here's a y. So negative 36 plus 3y will be a negative 33y, and then minus 36 equals 0. They're all divisible by 3, so I can divide a 3 everywhere. 12. And then I factor. I think that's y minus 12, y plus 1 equals 0. So either y minus 12 is 0, or y plus 1 is 0. So I come up with y being 12, or y being a negative 1. Both of those numbers, when you plug them into the original equation, will still work. Okay, that's a nice one. Here's another one. Similar kind of thing. The one thing that bothers me is that I can't factor that. There's no two numbers that multiply to 36 and add to negative 6. However, this is a sum of cubes, and it should follow this pattern. So a cubed plus b cubed is just using the formula, a squared minus ab plus b squared. So if I have x cubed now 216 is 6 cubed. So A is x and b is 6, I can just plug those numbers in. X plus 6, and then x squared minus 6x plus 36. So let's rewrite. Okay, so let's factor this, rewrite it. So 3 over x plus 6 plus 7 over x squared minus 6x plus 36 is equal to 324 over this. So x plus 6, x squared minus 6x plus 36. So now my lowest common denominator is going to be this, both of those terms, because that's what these are. So I'll take and I'll multiply every term by those. So I'm going to multiply that by x plus 6 and the x squared minus 6x plus 36. And I'll multiply this by the same thing, x plus 6, x squared minus 6x plus 36. And I'll multiply this by the same thing, x plus 6, x minus 6x plus 36. So in the first one, the x plus 6 cancels. I'm left going 3 times x squared minus 6x plus 36. With the next one, this part cancels, so I'm left with 7 times x plus 6. And on the right side, all of this cancels, so I'm left with 324. Okay, now let's multiply that through. So 3x squared minus 18x plus 108 plus 7x plus 42 is equal to 324. Quadratic, let's bring it all to the left. So 3x squared, the x's here and here would be a minus 11x. And then 108 plus 42 be 150. And then 150 minus 324. So 324 minus 150. 4, that's 17. 7, that's a 2, 1. 174 minus 174 is equal to 0. Okay, now we get to factor. Okay, I did some figuring over here. I think those are my numbers. So I'm just going to do a guess and check. So I think it's 3x and an x. And then I think I'm doing a 6 here and a 29 there. I just did some working out with the guess and check. Has to be negative, so this I think has to be negative, and this is positive. So if I were to multiply that out, 3x squared plus 18, so plus 18 minus 29, yeah, that gives you negative 11. And then 29 times 6 is 174. So then either 3x minus 29 is 0, or x plus 6 is 0. So 3x equals 29, x is equal to 29 thirds. And on this side, x is equal to negative 6. Ooh, that's some pretty good work. Now, if I do some checking, though, if I check this, if I plug that back in right there for x, negative 6 plus 6 is 0. That means that cannot be an answer. So I'm going to be left with that. And you could probably plug that into the x there or there and there, and you shouldn't be getting a 0 on the bottom. So I'd be saying that's my answer. All right, hopefully that helps you with those two questions.